Welcome to my podcast, Chat with Loki. It's about sharing stories of grit, resilience, wisdom from unseen, unheard, everyday heroes of life. Hi, Patrick. Welcome to Chat with Loki. How are you?
Good, thanks, Loki. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Good. Okay, just for our audience, please tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, just in your own words.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Patrick Marando. I'm a psychologist, a spiritual teacher, an energy healer. And I sort of try to combine all of those three worlds to help people wake up to themselves and live their truth.
Wow. Psychologist, energy healer, and
Spiritual teacher.
spiritual teacher.
Yeah.
Wow. So they all go hand in hand?
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
I've never met anyone who put them all together, but I haven't tried to put them together. They've just happened. That's how my life's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before we go into that, tell us a little bit about where you're born, how many siblings, just a little bit about your, family.
Yeah, so I was born here in Sydney, Australia.
Yep.
I was born on a rural property, so on a bit of a farm.
Okay.
More of a hobby farm, so nothing too big.
What's the place?
The place is out near Fairfield.
Fairfield. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's acreage out there. So I was born there, and we had a couple of sheep and a dog. It wasn't too.
Wow. Okay. So you're one of those lucky ones.
I guess so.
These days you need to go to Olympic Park to touch a sheep.
All right. Yes. That's right. I was one of the lucky ones then. That's right.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of goats as well at certain
Couple of
times.
goats as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got two siblings, and my parents, and my background's Italian actually. So my parents are both one of my parents was born in Italy, and my mum was born here.
Okay.
But she's of Italian background.
Okay.
And I've been born and raised in Sydney. I've been in Sydney my whole life.
Nice. So when you say siblings, younger than you, older than you?
Older and younger. So
So you're the middle one.
I'm the middle one, yes. And if you
lucky
ask,
one.
Yeah, the lucky one, or it depends who you ask again. But if you ask my family, I'm a true middle child. I'm the different one. I'm the odd one out.
Okay.
Yes.
So brother, sister?
An older sister and younger brother I have.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. And when you say your parents are Italian background, so your mom was already here, and did your dad come here?
My dad came here when he was a child, so he came here when he was 7.
Okay.
And my mum was born here, but her parents are Italian background.
Nice,
So we
nice.
grew up in a sort of Italian heritage household generally. So a little bit of Italian speaking, but mostly English speaking. But
Okay.
lots of pasta.
Oh, all right. So what's one thing you really love about Italian culture or something Italian?
Yeah, I think for me, like the welcoming nature. So whoever's house we ever went to, there was always welcoming natures, and everyone they feed you all the time. So everything's about food, and you always feel like you're part of the crowd there.
Yeah.
So I think they really open their hearts. A lot of them open their hearts anyway, and you just always feel like you're never left out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's the reason Italian flag is tomato, basil, and cheese?
Yeah, mozzarella.
Mozzarella,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Well, Italian food is one of those top foods on the planet. I'm pretty sure it comes in top 3. And while I'm talking about food, I already feel hungry. So food and the welcoming nature is what you really take from the Italian culture. Is that right?
I think it's more the welcoming nature. I think food is the way to a welcoming nature. Food is a way to show love.
Yeah.
But I think it's really the welcoming nature and the open heart. So you're not really a stranger. Everyone's welcome as family when they're there.
Yeah. So as a kid, you had this experience of gatherings, family gatherings, food and celebrations, birthdays, all those things.
Yeah.
What's your experience as a kid? Because I think these days it's becoming as a novelty.
Yeah. So I think for me in particular, like every Sunday was family day. So we'd always go to my nonna's house or my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
And I had a grandmother on both sides. So we'd spend lunchtime at my dad's mum, so my nonna on that side.
Yeah.
And it was just all the family would get together, and it was pasta and meat and salads and just more food than you can really eat.
Yeah.
And just playing cricket, but the Italians playing cricket. It's okay. Like we blended the culture.
Actually, I think Italians have a cricket team.
You know more than me about that.
I lived in Croatia for 1.5 years,
Okay.
and I was part of Croatian cricket team.
Of course, of course.
So the cricket actually gives money to European countries to have a team and play some sort of a league. I don't know. It's not famous, but
Yeah.
there is some structure there. Wow. Okay. So as a kid, being brought up around family, food, gatherings, what's your most when you think about the most enjoyable moment? What comes up?
I think there's a lot there. That's a
Just
tough question.
one,
yeah.
just one, whatever comes up
Yeah.
now.
I think for me, really, like I mentioned, we grew up on a sort of a bit of a farm,
Yeah.
and we had a pool. So a lot of times when we weren't going to my grandparents, a lot of family were coming over to our house to use the pool.
Yeah.
So I think just being with my cousins, and I've got like 40 odd first cousins, so
Wow.
I've got a lot of cousins.
Yeah.
And just spending that time, and like we'd jump in the pool, going out and eating, jumping
Yeah.
back in the pool. It was just all felt very carefree. And I'm not sure if it was just because we were children or if it was just carefree, but either way, that's probably the best memories.
Nice. And your parents still living here, or
Yeah, my
Okay.
parents are still here.
Okay, cool. And from that kid, what was your next step?
From there, I obviously at school, and I was always generally okay at school. I never really had too many troubles.
Yeah.
And from school, I wanted to become a psychologist. So
Sorry. Let's just
Did I go too far?
let's just take a moment there. I really don't think anyone in school would think I want to become a psychologist. Can you please explain how that thought really came up?
Sure.
As a how old you would be, like what, 12, 13, 14?
probably about 14, 15. then,
14,
yeah.
15. Probably, it's people would take maybe mid-20s or 30s to come to that, concept of I want to do something. So what was your thought process?
Well, first I wanted to be a dentist.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then I went on work experience, where you do school work experience. So I did that, and I just couldn't handle the smell, to be honest. So I was like, I don't want to be a dentist anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was just thinking, and I feel like it was more like I was thinking of it, it sort of came to me a little bit.
Yeah.
I used to be at school like someone the people would come and talk to and sort of tell their problems to.
Okay.
And I was just kind of good at giving advice.
Wow. So you're giving advice as a 15-year-old.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Wow.
just to my fellow students. I wasn't.
I hope you're not charging the way they charge these
No,
days.
I wish I could.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was kind of giving advice, and I had a very logical mind.
Yeah.
For me, I was always a bit confused how people were so emotional.
Yeah.
So I'd be giving the advice, and I thought, oh, this sounds like a good profession. And in my back of my mind, I thought that psychology was the way of the future.
Yeah.
So even then, I thought like more and more people are going to want to see a psychologist and get to know themselves.
So do you know the word psychologist at that time?
I knew it, but only like, you watch it on movies and things like that.
Like movies, legal movies, people want to become a lawyer.
Yeah, like a therapist or a shrink or something like that.
Yeah, shrink was famous back in the day. Yeah.
So I just wanted to do that, and obviously, just looking at the psychology courses.
Yeah.
And I just kept following it from there.
So if we put the psychology or psychologist word aside, what were you really, looking for? Is it you enjoyed helping?
Yeah, it was about the helping people and making a difference in people's lives. It was kind of a little bit funny because there's a part of me that I really enjoy helping people, but it just feels just really good to be able to do it. It's not always just for the helping. It also makes me feel good doing it.
Yeah. Can you share one moment where a kid or someone came to you? You were also a kid at that time, where, let's say, they were going through something dark and you helped them.
Yeah, so it's really minor. It was definitely something as a teenager. But there was a girl in my class, and she was dating another guy in the class, and he kissed another girl, like he cheated on her.
Yep.
And so, she was really heartbroken. And then I was just talking to her a bit about, well, what type of person do you want? Do you want a person like that?
Yeah.
Can it be beneficial to know that about a person before going deeper into a relationship with them?
Yeah.
So that's one that really just stands out. And I think I vaguely remember playing the song "I Will Survive" for her, and
Wow.
yeah, and for her that was really meaningful. And she bought me that CD later, so it was obviously meaningful to her too.
Yeah. So you were not doing this to get girls.
No. Well,
Just
yeah.
asking.
Well, look, I probably had a better chance. I could have swooped in then, but no, I didn't.
No. You're being sincere.
Yeah, I was being sincere. Yeah.
You're being sincere.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's great. The reason why I'm asking is I'm just imagining you as a 15 or a 16-year-old, and normally giving or helping at that age is not normal.
Mm-hmm.
Because they say teenage life is the most selfish life.
Yeah.
It's all about me.
Mm-hmm.
And when you started doing that, when you started taking that journey, so you felt like this is your normal course of, action.
Yeah, it didn't feel like effort. It just felt natural. Like I wasn't trying to be helpful. We're just talking, and if someone's telling a problem, then like solutions sort of come to my mind. So I'm just happy to chat that back. And yeah. So it wasn't really something that I consciously set out to do. It was just something I did.
Was there a situation where you tried to help but it backfired?
Not that I really recall. It feels like a long time ago now.
Yeah. Okay. If there's nothing to recall, means everything went well.
Yeah, well enough.
And how did your parents respond or react when you said, I want to become a psychologist?
They were really supportive. I was always, like I've mentioned, okay at school, so it was not something quite easy. My dad was a concreter and a builder. My mum she's a stay-at-home mum, so she looked after us. So me going to university was the first person in our family to do that.
Yeah.
So they were excited for me, but they were also pretty uncertain about what it meant. They didn't really know the way forward because they'd never experienced it themselves.
Wow. So your dad was from construction industry, and mom being at home.
Mm-hmm.
How did that influence you, their relationship?
Well, my dad was the primary breadwinner in that case.
Yeah.
So he was out most of the day. So generally, mum would do most of the stuff. So the relationship developed more with mum from that closeness.
Yeah.
But then as I got older, the relationship with dad developed more, just as adults rather than father, son, or kids.
What would you say the importance of dad for a kid at a teenage time?
I can't really say exactly. I can just say the importance of my dad because everyone's got a different life.
No. Your experience.
Yeah. So for mine, I think definitely hard work, effort, love and providing.
Yeah.
Really being able to put yourself second and put others first. I think that was really important tool to learn as well.
Yeah.
So I really think that's the parts and he was really a good worker overall. Like he never complained. He just worked day in, day out.
Yeah.
Even now he still works and he's nearly 75. He's still he's still helping me. He does more work than I do. So maybe not more than I do, but in a different way.
So it's more like a stoic mindset. You get up, you keep doing, provide to the family.
Yeah.
And you sacrifice so the kids or members of the family can benefit and have a good life.
Yeah, I think he really prioritized us over himself a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But that was also what he loved doing. So
nice.
Yeah.
And with your mom?
Yeah, so mum was kind of like, she was more the softer influence in the life.
Yeah.
Dad was a bit more the harder and mum was the softer one.
Yeah.
But I think it was great. There was a good balance.
So mom was more nurturing?
Yeah, so she was the more nurturing one. Dad was nurturing too. He just wasn't there as often to nurture. So but mum was really like, she was really about like the care, the nurture.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, feeding.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of food.
So food is an expression of love.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, even now when I go there, I might say I'm not that hungry, but I'll still end up with a big plate of pasta or more than I've asked for. And I always eat it.
So obviously, when you go and see your parents, it's good to starve 2 days and then go.
It's good. I haven't learned that lesson yet, but I think that's a good idea.
Nice. So you have a good influence from your father and mother, and they really balanced with your upbringing.
Yeah.
And also they supported this crazy idea of becoming a psychologist. And what happened next? Did you get into uni?
Yes, I got into uni,
Yeah.
and I did my 4 years of psychology, or
Yeah.
6 years overall.
Yeah.
And when I first started, I was kind of doing it, and I was like, yeah, it's okay. It felt a little bit too theoretical. I didn't really enjoy the theory part so much.
Yeah.
So it took me about a year before I really got into it.
Right.
So I was just sort of drudging along and, using my dad's work ethic to push through, even though I didn't overly enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then I started really getting into it. I started really connecting the dots between the theory and the practical.
What did you anticipate and why you felt it wasn't what you thought at the beginning?
Yeah, I think in my mind I was helping a lot of people. So
Right.
so that's what I thought it was going to be. But this was more about understanding the theory behind helping people and behind what are they thinking and why and what's motivating them. So that didn't cross my mind so much. It did a little, and my memory's a bit hazy back then.
Yeah.
But overall, I really expected just to be doing more practical stuff with people rather than just learning theory.
Nice. So, could you please explain what is psychology for an uneducated idiot like me?
Funnily enough, I'm a psychologist, obviously, but I've never been asked that question. So
let's say there's people out there just listening, they don't know what is psychology because there is, the words are thrown these days a lot because of social media and stuff. Psychologist, psychiatrist. So let's just first, please say in your own simple terms or simple language, what is psychology? What is it?
So the word psych means mind.
Okay.
And so psychologist really means a specialist of the mind. So psychology is really someone who studied the mind and understand how the mind works.
Yeah.
And then how that then relates to our emotional lives as well. Because our mental mind is related to our emotional body as well.
Okay. So basically you're a doctor of the head.
Yeah, not a doctor, because doctor is more
it's more like
a specialist of the head, I'll say, yes.
Okay. Psychiatry, what is that?
Psychiatrist they actually study medicine and then they specialize in psychiatry, which is generally they would specialize in understanding medications that help the mind.
Right. Okay. Oh, we're getting somewhere. And what is psychic?
Psychic. So a psychic is someone who is able generally to sense energy and predict the future, or sense energy or read energy of people, and either predict the future, predict the past, communicate with other energies that aren't physical.
Wow. Okay. Psychology. Okay, so psychology is all about understanding mind.
Mm-hmm.
Psychiatry is also understanding the medication prescription needed if someone's not functioning well. And psychic is, that's a different story.
That's a completely different story.
Okay, so what's the, so obviously you finished the uni,
Mm-hmm.
and can you just give an example of your first client?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, without naming the names, where you helped and felt completely rewarded for all the hard work since that 15-year-old to the time you finished your uni. It's almost like I finished my, let's say, doctor course,
Mm-hmm.
and I've done my first surgery, and that feeling is different. So can you please share that first experience of using your professional psychology degree on someone where you felt, wow, this is a divine blessing?
Yeah, well, I first started working in an anxiety clinic.
Yeah.
And part of the anxiety clinic, we'd run anxiety groups. So my first experience was more running groups rather than individual one-on-one at that time.
Yeah.
So I was running my first group, and I was I was anxious myself.
Wow.
Yeah. So obviously I hadn't done it before, so I had a bit of my own anxiety. And so,
how big is the crowd?
Sorry, I think there was maybe about 10 to 12 people from memory.
All ages.
All different ages,
sexes.
yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so I said, you have to excuse me, I'm a little bit anxious running this group, I said to them. And they go, if you're anxious, what about us?
Wow.
So that really helped me alleviate my nerves. Firstly, just admitting it, like recognizing anxiety is not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But also when they made a joke of it, I found it way easier and I relaxed myself.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's just being human.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And understanding, and when I did help them, and that, I think it was an 8 to 10 week group, I think, 8 to 10 week course.
All right.
And so I remember at the end of that course, I felt really, really good, and a lot of people had a lot of changes and were feeling a lot better after having done it. So that's the first thing that I remember from helping people the first time. Felt quite rewarding then.
So it's like 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. And then a group of 10 to 12.
That's right.
And then individuals came and expressed the change.
Yeah, that's right. So at the end of the course, we sort of do a bit of a review, see how everyone's at compared to the beginning.
Yeah.
And just seeing the differences that they had made in that time was really rewarding.
Wow. Okay. And so you continued that psychology stuff.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned your energy healer. Where did that come after, or was it happening in parallel?
After. Oh, parallel, sorry. So,
Okay.
So I think I started working as a psychologist roughly around 22, 23.
Yeah.
And I started Kung Fu at about 22, I think I was as well.
Okay.
So
Who you're looking to kick?
well, my friend did Kung Fu. A few of my friends actually did Kung Fu.
Yeah.
And they mentioned the teacher there, he'd study things like the aura, chakras, chi energy in particular.
Yeah.
So that's really what interested me. And because of all the eating pasta, I was starting to get a little bit on the chunkier side.
Yeah.
So I said, now I better do some exercise as well. So it was kind of like a perfect storm motivating me towards starting that.
Yeah.
And that's really where I started getting into energy, originally from understanding chi energy through Kung Fu.
So that's almost, I think it's life energy.
That's, chi is life force energy.
Life
that's right.
force energy. So when you say energy healer, again, can you please explain to the dumbest person in the room, let's say that's me, because there's so much out there these days. Everyone is a psychologist. Everyone is a psychiatrist. Everyone is an energy healer. Everyone, because I'm not disrespecting anyone, but there's so many of them because there's demand. And people are always looking for alternative solutions to get better in life or to go through whatever they're going through. So psychologist, I understand now that, okay, you do a degree, that's a professional course, and then there is a structure and all those things. As an energy healer, it's almost spiritual practice. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
So what is it? What do you do as an energy healer?
Well, the first part is that understanding that everything is made of energy. So
Okay,
we're made of energy, the table's made of energy, the microphone's made of energy, everything's made of energy.
Yeah.
At Kung Fu, what I noticed, I learned about chakras and the aura. That was the main thing I learned energetically, and the meridians.
Okay.
So when I was there, through my master, we sort of started doing techniques to be able to sense and see auras and chakras.
Yeah.
And so I started developing that ability to see that. And so what I would see is that different emotional states, people's aura and chakras would respond differently.
Nice.
And as I started noticing that, in my work. I started noticing that around just in life. It wasn't didn't just stay in the Queen, is what the training room was called.
Yeah.
So I also noticed that when we'd say give different advice, that certain chakras would change and improve and get back to more balance. And when people thought certain ways, it would put us out of balance.
Right.
And so I kind of learnt that. And a lot of this was intuitive then after that, was that when you could talk a way to get energy balanced again, but you could also will the energy through you to actually bring it back into alignment. Because in essence, we all want to be balanced. Our energy wants to be balanced.
Yeah.
And our mind and our life throws us out of balance. So it's really about bringing it back into balance and helping people remember the wellness that we already are.
Right. You simplified it, but it's not easy for many to understand that concept of we are energy. So there is body, there is physicality, there is limitations, there is boundaries and all those things. But the energy you're talking about doesn't have limitations, doesn't have boundaries.
No.
How can an individual feel their energy?
Feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think firstly is that on an energetic level, even us physically, if we look deep enough through a magnifying glass, is that there is no physical limit.
Yeah.
It's just through our senses that we're actually able to sense that.
Yeah.
People will feel their own energy themselves. Individually, everyone's different, but a lot of times we'll just feel it could be like through our intuition, through our gut feelings.
Yeah.
We'll just feel off. It just feels like it just doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is just understanding that you don't actually have to feel other people's energy. You don't have to be a healer yourself to be connected to your own energy.
So when you say energy healer, is this some type of practice? Like you have exercises or something when you're dealing with people who need the help?
Yeah, so originally I was just doing a lot of it intuitively, just from my own awareness and seeing it and sensing it. Then I studied Reiki, so I understood it a bit deeper from Reiki. Then I studied more energy healing.
Yeah.
So I just got a deeper and deeper understanding through further studies. But a lot of it is done really just intuitively. I just sort of, I sense it and I just feel where balance is more required for certain people in certain areas. And sometimes that's mental balance, emotional, physical, energetic. Like it's all connected.
So would you say there is a massive link with the current mental health issue to the balance of energy?
Well, generally, yes. So everything is energy. Even our thoughts are energy, emotions are energy.
Yeah.
And so energy vibrates at different frequencies.
Yeah.
And when we're thinking in certain frequencies that are going to make us feel bad, then that energy is going to keep us feeling bad in a worse energy.
Yeah.
So understanding our mind and understanding how to have thoughts that are a little bit more aligned to our truth or aligned to well-being and peace is going to improve our overall health and our overall energy and emotional energy.
How can someone practice that in a world full of distractions and constant, validation? People are looking constant validation, instant gratification, and it's like nonstop. We have, 100 different channels to choose from. Apparently in Australia, every night, people who watch TV, they take on an average 45 minutes to choose what they want to watch. Mm-hmm. So in this kind of world, how can someone observe the things you're talking about, like feeling the energy and balancing it? Is there a path to that?
Yeah, so I'd really suggest meditation would be a really good start, and even just 5 minutes of that.
Yeah.
I think the best entry point to understanding energy and your own energy is understanding your own feelings would be the first part.
Yeah.
And then the feelings will take you back to what you're thinking.
Okay.
And so the more you understand that connection and understand the effects of your thoughts on your feelings, the more then you can actually start shifting them to create a more peaceful path.
Yeah. Again, meditation has become another cliche. There's more videos how to meditate than actually meditate. So this is my understanding. I'm just trying to say this as a simple technique. For me, meditation is about sitting in stillness and observing your breathing. Mm-hmm. That's a starting stage. But a lot of people are like trying to do this technique, that technique and stuff. But when someone asks me, I tell them, I sit down, close my eyes, and I watch my breath. Deep breathe in, deep breathe out. Do you think that's a good suggestion?
Yeah, I think that's a really good starting point.
Starting point.
Yeah, that's where I started personally.
Yeah.
And when we're in that, what we have is we're cultivating our awareness. We're sitting in the state of our truth or in the state of our spirit, noticing things.
Yeah.
And when we notice our breath, then we say, I got distracted by a thought.
Yeah.
We say, what was the thought? That's really a good awareness point to be able to see what our mind is doing, what our emotions are doing from there.
Yeah. I think that's almost you're entering into the true self.
That's right. Yeah, you're entering into your spirit self. That's right.
So the energy healing and the psychologist, do they complement each other, or these are two different things?
I think they complement each other. Like for me, I've learned how to blend them.
Yeah.
I don't do it in my psychology practice. I keep that separate and keep that strictly psychological.
Yeah.
But even doing it psychologically is still shifting energy. So it's still doing the same thing. I just incorporate in my energy work. I just incorporate more tools into that.
Right. So they say we have 3 brains: the head, the heart, and the gut. The head thinks, the heart feels, and the gut knows. Is that psychology? I don't know. I'm just curious. I'm not testing here.
For me, that feels more spiritual than psychological.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but overall, I believe that same thing. And then so we have our mind. So we obviously have our thinking mind.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of analyzing and observing.
Yeah.
Then we have our emotional life.
Yeah.
And so our emotional life is like what we feel about our relationship with the world around us and different things.
Yeah.
And then we have our knowing part of us, which is like our intuition, our gut feelings. And that's why they call it the gut.
The gut, yeah. And a lot of times people say, if we need to make a decision, like let's say an important decision, they say, "I'll go with your gut feeling," or go with what your gut says. Yeah. And scientifically, I have read some reports that apparently it's 99% accurate.
Well, that's our intuition. That's our true self talking. That's our spirit talking to us. That's how it speaks.
Right.
But what normally happens, my gut says this, then my mind says, "Oh, but what if I'm wrong?"
Okay, it's an important. There's mind, heart, head, heart, and the gut. Okay, let's put the gut aside because that's intuition. I think the biggest confusion right now for the smartest people, and also when I say smartest, people who are intellectual, who have read so many books.
Who live in their mind.
Yeah. The biggest challenge for them is the battle between head and heart. How can people differentiate to follow what?
Well, I was one of those people, firstly.
Oh, okay.
So I was very much grew up in my head. Like I mentioned, I was very logical. I was very good at giving the advice. Yeah. I was very disconnected from my own emotions.
Okay.
So for me, I firstly learned the truth of reality, or the truth of myself from a head perspective. Yeah. Then I had to actually understand what my emotions were doing. I had to learn how to connect to them. Right. Because I was just thinking, just be at peace with everything. But my emotions, that's not always healthy. Yeah. It's important to sometimes be okay to feel unpleasant, not just try to stay feeling good all the time. Yeah. So part of it is actually really understanding what your emotions are doing and what they're useful for. Yeah. For me in particular, that's why I wrote my book. I wrote my book because I did live in my head, and I was about helping people understand what their emotions are for. I know me, I hated feeling bad.
What's the name of your book?
The book is called Waking Up to Yourself. It's a guide to living your truth.
Waking up to yourself. Okay. And how long it took you to accept that you need to think outside the head and connect with your heart?
It took me a lot of suffering to get to that. So I can't say exactly the time frame, but a lot of it was the head only got me so far. And then eventually I realized that my head was really good at trying to control my emotions. Yeah. And it was one particular conversation with a friend, and my friend was saying, she said, "Why do you hate life?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize I hated life." Wow. And then as she said that, I was like, "Oh, actually I do. I hate feeling. So when I hate feeling, then I'm hating living. I'm hating that aspect of life." Right. And so I was like, "Oh, so why do I hate these feelings? Why am I so at war with my feelings? Why didn't I start understanding what they're there for? Yeah. Not just the pleasant ones, like no one's at war with them. Yeah. But why do I have the unpleasant ones?" Okay. Because even in psychology, I was always taught about controlling the unpleasant ones, not letting them be there, trying to control them, trying not to have them, trying to get rid of them. Yeah. Not understanding the benefit of them. Wow.
So what age group you are in at the when your friend asked this?
30, mid-30s maybe?
Mid-30s. Yeah. So you use two powerful words, suffering and hate. Mm-hmm. Where did they come from? Like words, in your life? Because right now you said you're suffering, and also your friend said, "Why do you hate life?" Yeah. Because there is a reason for that. Yeah. Someone saw that in you, or you saw that in yourself. Yeah. What was it?
So I have to go backwards a little bit to
Please
understand
do,
that.
please do, yeah.
So when I was about 25, I heard about, I was with another colleague and I was talking about spiritual enlightenment.
Okay.
And from that spiritual enlightenment conversation, I was really intrigued and I just had to follow that. So I'd been chasing spiritual enlightenment for a fair while. And when I was about, I think 28, I was at 28, I was on a train in Italy actually, and I trained from Rome to Milan. And I was reading a book from a teacher, and the book was talking about you're not your mind, you're not your emotions, you're the space in between, you're the witness of them. And as that happened, I woke up to who I really was. I woke up to my soul. I became my soul within my body. And so I was living sort of as my soul in this enlightened or awakened state, and I did that for about 3 months. I was just sort of felt like I was floating through life.
Right.
Once after 3 months, what happened is I sort of started coming back into myself, back into my mind, back into my body again.
Yeah.
And I was craving the bliss of living back in that enlightened state.
Right.
And so I was meditating even harder then, even doing everything I could to try to attain or re-attain the enlightened state.
Right.
And part of that was trying not to feel bad, part of what I was trying to do was avoid the feeling bad and just trying to attain this feeling of lightness and airiness that I was feeling when I did wake up to myself.
Wow. Tell me a little bit more about that train journey.
The train journey? Yeah.
So that's between Milan to...
Rome to Milan, yeah.
Rome to Milan. How long is the journey?
4 hours, I think, 4 to 5 hours. Yeah.
Were you by yourself?
I was by myself, yeah. I went to Italy with some friends and they wanted to stay in Rome, but I said I want to go see Milan for a night or two.
Okay. Well, it's just... The thought was to go by yourself and see the city.
Yeah, yeah. The whole trip was just a holiday. It wasn't necessarily a meditation retreat of any sort.
Yeah, and you got into the train. Mm-hmm. What happened?
Well, I got my panino, my bread roll first. So
yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I made that for myself. I got my Swiss Army knife, made that.
Yeah.
Had my roll.
Yeah.
And then I think I booked a premium seat, so I had a bit more leg room because I'm quite tall.
Yeah.
So once I've eaten, I had a book that I brought with me. My friend had recommended this book by an enlightened teacher.
Yeah, right.
And so I just got that out and started reading it.
Okay.
And just as I was reading it, my whole life started flashing before my eyes. So I could see, like, when I was a child, and I could say, oh, actually, that's what I was. But there was always a part of me that hadn't changed throughout my whole life. My awareness, my spirit part of me was always there noticing.
So while reading the book, you're also seeing your life, how it turned out.
Yeah, I'm seeing how it played out. And how my spirit was there noticing it all.
Right. So the first time you started to notice yourself.
That's right.
Through reading that book.
Yeah, well, I noticed my true self, not just noticed myself as a mind or as a body or as an emotional state.
Okay, yeah. Keep going.
Yeah, so then I felt a pain in my knee, and I felt it, but it wasn't my pain. It was like I was the noticer of the pain, not the pain itself. And so it was pretty amazing. I felt like the movie Avatar a little bit, I guess, when I think of it now. Like I was in the body of myself, but not the body itself.
Yeah.
And so I just kept reading, and I was really amazed. My mind was blown. And then when I got to Milan, I was sort of I was quite disoriented, actually.
So the 4 hours you're reading.
Pretty much most of it, yeah. Apart from the
panino.
That's right, yes.
So you got consumed in that experience of reading and discovering your own self.
Yeah.
And then, could you please explain that pain again? I'm still, I don't understand.
Yeah. So I felt pain in my right knee. And I felt it, but it didn't feel like pain that it belonged to me. It was just more like, it was like the body felt the pain, and I was just aware of the body having pain.
Oh, so you're observing your own body.
That's right.
As if the body is your guest.
That's right. Like as if I'm the avatar, or like I mentioned, like I'm inside my body, but
was it like a real pain, or like sharp pain?
It was more of a sharp pain, and it wasn't like, because I was just able to observe it. It just didn't feel like it was mine. It's just like, oh, that was an interesting thing.
Right.
And then like that just woke me up even more.
How long that observing the pain happened?
And probably until I stretched my knee. Like it wasn't a terrible pain, but it was just enough pain to kind of think to just create that separation that I was the one noticing the pain.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And then what I noticed after that was like I became the process of life. I wasn't me doing things. I was just aware of every little process that was happening.
Right.
Yeah, but I did become disoriented because from there I was like, well, if I can't trust my mind, if I'm not my mind or my emotions, then how do I make decisions? What do I do here?
So you're in a big conundrum right now.
That's what I felt like in Milan.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome to Milan. What happened?
Yeah, that's right. So I got to the train station. I think it's Termini train station.
Yeah.
And I was dazed, to be honest. I walked off the train and I just stopped.
Right.
And there's people rushing past, but I just stopped. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh. Then I remembered I had the map of my hotel in my pocket.
Yeah.
So I just sort of made my way there.
Okay.
I checked in and I'm pretty sure I looked drunk or drugged out when I checked in.
Yeah.
And then I just stayed in my room, went down and ate, but just stayed in my room, meditated and
Yeah. So how long you were supposed to stay in Milan?
I stayed there for 2 nights.
2 nights. So you reach there and you're still figuring out what the hell happened in the train, and you stayed in the hotel.
Yeah, then I had a shower and even during the shower I could feel like every drop of water hitting my body. My senses were really, really heightened.
Yeah, right.
And I was just more aware of it as a process rather than me having the shower.
What is that feeling? Is it something you're shocked or scared or surprised?
It was probably more surprised, but it was also a feeling of bliss and peace. That was the main feeling. It was just like...
What's that feeling of bliss and peace?
Well, it was just felt like I was just at ease no matter what was happening. It didn't matter if I felt pain. I was at peace with that. Whether my skin felt like it was burning a little bit, it was okay. If I was a bit hungry, sure, whatever, there's hunger there. But it's like I was unaffected by life.
Nothing bothered you.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But then one thing, and I didn't notice at the time, the thing that was bothering me was that I didn't know how to behave. I didn't know what to do. So I started feeling a bit confused.
You became a little kid.
Well, quite like a little kid, but also didn't know what my navigation system was anymore. Like
kid without parents or kid without direction.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
So it was quite good that I had my return ticket booked, so I kind of like had some direction there.
So first day you stayed in the hotel. What happened the second day?
I did the same. And
you did the same?
I went downstairs, got some pizza, came back up. I didn't really explore much of the city at all.
Wow. So that was an interesting,
very interesting,
life-changing train journey.
Completely. And then from there I went down to Naples.
Okay.
And that's where I met up with my friends, and it was, I think, at the middle of a garbage strike. So.
Oh, okay.
In a 40-degree day.
They want more pay?
Sorry?
They want more pay?
Yeah, I think there was other issues going on. I don't know that part.
Wow. So, and then did your behavior change when you got back with your friends?
It did change. They were wanting to, one of my friends wanted to get a piercing.
Yeah.
Just because they were on holidays.
Yeah.
And so.
That's what you do. Piercing, get tattoos. Yeah. And then break your legs and.
Yeah, and maybe get hepatitis while you're at it. Yeah. So it was 40 degrees and we're walking around Naples in the middle of a garbage strike. So the smell, the heat, and I was kind of like in a daze. I was just following. I wasn't enjoying it, but I didn't know what else to do. So I just followed the journey.
Wow. Okay. And did any one of your friend pulled you aside and said, "Mate, what's going on?"
They did say, they said, "You seem frustrated." That was the one thing that they said.
So you didn't fit in?
Yeah. And also, but I was too disconnected from myself to even realize I was frustrated. I think I was just sort of holding on for the ride, to be honest.
Wow. Okay. And then, so the rest of the trip finished?
Yeah. Then I came home and I was still in that state.
Yeah.
And when I got home, I remember being at work and I was walking through the corridor, but I actually felt like I was floating through the corridor. Like I wasn't my feet on the ground. I was like floating within my body.
Yeah, without taking drugs.
No drugs. Yeah. Yeah, this is no drugs, no ayahuasca,
It's natural state, no drugs.
That's right.
Okay, yeah.
And then from about 2 months after that, like I did that was about 2 months. And then I started returning back into my body, back into my mind, and sort of, not on purpose, just reconnecting that back to that.
Yeah, wow. So how long this process went from the train trip to where you felt like, okay, now I understand my head and also my heart?
Well, I think I didn't really get to understand my heart then, but that was about 3 months. And then for a fair while after that, I was chasing that experience again. I was trying to, so I meditated even harder.
Yeah.
I was like,
so you want to feel the same bliss.
That's right.
You're talking about. So can we say that blissful experience was in the hotel?
Yeah, the
In
train,
Milan?
the hotel.
The train including.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and then that just lasted for 2 months or 2 to 3 months, like I said.
Yep. Okay.
And then I was still chasing that, and that's when my friend said, "Why do you hate being alive?" or "How do you hate being human?" After that was after maybe 5 or 6 years,
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
and that was really about understanding. Oh, I am chasing the bliss, but I'm chasing the bliss as a means to try to escape the pain of being a human.
Yeah.
But the pain is also part of being human, not just the bliss.
True. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's where that hate connects to.
Yeah, and that's where the
And
journey
the
of
suffering.
well, the suffering was me trying to be other than what I was. The suffering was me disconnecting from that part of me as well.
Yeah.
So that's always going to create suffering. If I try to fight something that I am part of,
Yeah.
then I'm going to only suffer.
Yeah.
It's like having a fight with your nose. Like it's there.
Yeah. It's like having your own punches. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from there, that's where I learned to start having an emotional journey, and that's where I started to learn to connect to the heart part.
Wow. Okay. And this is all before you went into energy healing.
It sort of happened simultaneously.
Okay. But you're already a psychologist
Yeah.
by that time. So you're a psychologist, and then I'm trying to connect all the dots.
Yeah. So when I woke up to myself, so I had a lot of bliss then, but that's when I started doing spiritual teaching a little bit from there.
Okay.
'Cause I was
This is your third gig.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's other gigs, but we'll just stick with 3 for now.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So that's when I started teaching people what I had become aware of. People were like, I didn't really preach it to a lot of people, but if people asked me, because they knew I meditated and I went on a lot of retreats, so if they'd ask me things, I'd verbalize it and speak to them and teach them. And then some people started like calling me to ask those questions as well. Okay. So I became like, I didn't try to be a spiritual teacher. I just happened to turn into a spiritual teacher.
Yep. And where does the book come in this journey? When did it start?
It started when I started having the emotional awakening. Because what I started realizing is that my mind was a master at trying to control my emotional states.
Yeah.
And what I started doing is, and I knew I was a master at that, but didn't really serve me.
Okay.
So I started writing about all the emotions and all the unpleasant ones. Yeah. And I started trying to understand, what do we have them for? Like, why do we have sadness? Why am I hating it when actually sadness is useful to help me find happiness?
Yeah.
If I don't have sad, I won't know what makes me happy.
Yeah.
Also, if I don't have sadness, I can't grieve away pain. Sadness is a reliever of pain.
Yeah.
It's a cleanser.
Yeah.
So when I started understanding what each of the unpleasant emotions were for, then I started writing that down. So I felt like it would help a lot of people do that, because I was also doing that in my psychology work, helping them understand, in the spiritual work. So I was sort of teaching and learning at the same time and writing at the same time.
So basically your book was your own journal.
Yeah.
Understanding your own,
Yeah, understanding that, and also understanding all the ways my mind was trying to control the emotions.
Yeah.
Because I learned to do that. I learned to be very good at thinking my way through emotions.
Okay.
Which can be useful, but if I don't know that I'm doing it, then it actually means I'm stuck in a habitual pattern that doesn't always serve me.
Okay. And what's with all these things, when I say all these things, being a psychologist, being a energy healer, and then thrown into spiritual path and writing a book of your own thoughts. Now you're experiencing all these things with, different paths.
Mm-hmm.
What's the, is there an ancient wisdom in it?
Yeah.
Or
So I studied at Kung Fu, I studied Taoism. So I started with Taoism.
Yeah.
Part of that book that I read, that was written by a man who teaches non-dualism, but he also has a Zen Buddhist background.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of Buddhist meditation retreats.
Yeah.
Mahasi, he's a Burmese Buddhist.
Yes. Yeah.
So a lot of it is steeped in my studies in that.
Yeah.
I've also studied New Age philosophies and psychology.
Yeah.
So it really is a combination of all of those things. But at the end of the day, for me, it's just about describing the experience of what I've actually gone through, because they're all describing their own experiences, which is true, and they're using their words.
Yeah.
But that's not a new experience. That's an experience that we all have access to.
True. Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful, because the reason for my interest in ancient wisdom is, on one side, psychology and all these things comes with a little bit of modern education, modern, let's say, philosophies and all those stuff. And the life force energy, the meditations, the chakras, and all this other stuff really is ancient wisdom. And complementing both can be tricky for the ones who have taken only one side.
Yep.
And the ones who can balance it, it's almost like I always say, I get the best of East and West.
Yeah.
I was born Indian, and without me even asking for it, there's a lot of wisdom I got out of that culture. And then after the Western world also gave a lot of wisdom with the modern science and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So how do you, is it helping you, or it comes naturally, because let's say you have 3 gigs: psychologist, energy healer, and spiritual awakening. Let's call that spiritual awakening. And someone comes across your path. Do you tell them one of these, or it's just like, okay, it's too much? Because anything spiritual, there is no simple way of explaining the depth of life unless you experience it. Because some things, the words cannot explain.
Yeah, they can't touch it.
And how do you explain this to people when they come and ask for help, or when they say, yeah, I'm going through dark time or suffering or whatever it is?
Yeah. So I think for me, the first thing is it's all about the language in particular.
Yeah.
And not necessarily having to say you're connecting to your spirit, you're connecting to your true self. Sometimes I will say that depending on the crowd.
Yeah.
But most of us want peace. And when we're at peace within ourselves, then we are connected to our true self. It's not somewhere else. It's already there right now.
Yeah.
So most of the time I'll just talk about strategies to come back to your state of peace and understanding where your mind is not aligned with that peace.
Okay.
And so sometimes I'll do that from the psychological perspective. Don't have to mention anything spiritual, just talk about peace.
Yeah.
When I talk about it from the spiritual perspective, then it is about understanding, well, your true self is peace. Like you have a point to come back to straight away.
Yeah.
And then from an energy healing perspective, it's just about realigning my energy to come back to peace.
Okay.
So
without really sharing the language, you use all 3 if needed.
yeah, and I don't mean to. I'd only started speaking publicly about my energy healing very recently this year.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that's a new thing for me to actually come out and say, but it didn't mean I wasn't doing it. It just means that I've actually spoken about it more publicly.
Yeah.
So I've developed, particularly working in psychology, has helped me really develop a language that matches a lot of people.
Okay.
Because not everyone's going to want to go spiritual, but that's okay. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You can just decide you want peace. And when the more at peace you are, and the more peace you cultivate, the more you're actually connected to your truth. Because our true self is always there. It's not something that we have to find. It's something we want to remember and come back to.
Okay. Of all the people you help, can you please tell me the top 3 problems they come with?
The top 3 problems? Yeah.
Is that health? Is that relationship? Is that finance? Is that mental health issues?
For me, overall, what I feel like, we can say it's those things, but at the end of the day, I'd say that particularly 2 main issues would be that they're not okay with their emotions. That's the number one, that we hate feeling bad and I'm struggling with my feelings and I don't know how to manage them.
Yeah.
And the second part I say is that our thinking really isn't aligned with a peaceful path. That our conditioning and the way we've learned to view the world doesn't actually offer us a peaceful journey and a peaceful vibration within. So a lot of what my teaching is about helping people understand what their emotions for and utilize them for that.
Yeah.
But also to help align their mind back to their spiritual mind or back to their state of peace and well-being.
Okay.
Because if you look at a child, which is how we all were, we didn't have all these conditioned thoughts that created suffering and pain in us.
Yeah.
It's just how we learn to interpret the world that actually creates our pain.
Yeah.
Or creates our suffering, not our pain.
Yeah. So there's reality and then our own reality.
Yeah, that's right. Reality and our perception of reality.
Perception.
Yeah.
Yes. So okay. So what you're saying is the number 1 issue with majority who come to you is not able to handle their own feelings and thoughts.
Yeah, or confused by them, not aware of them. Yeah, and what that does is that disconnects us from our truth, which is our state of peace. So people only usually come and see me when they're disconnected from their state of peace. It's like you might go see the physio only when you're in absolute agony. You don't go when your body, some people do go earlier, but most people only go when they're in absolute pain.
I heard this quote, or I read this quote. Probably it's from Taoism, I think. Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a choice. Is that what we're trying to differentiate here?
Yeah, that's right. So pain is like, we are going to feel bad at times. When we love, we're going to have heartbreak with love. When we feel proud, we're going to have disappointment. We're going to have all the array of emotions.
Yeah.
That's the pain of life. Even physically, we're going to have pain.
Yeah.
Suffering is how we relate to that pain. Suffering is the way we try to control it with our mind, or what our mind says about the pain.
Yeah.
And that's what then creates more agony for us.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you use two words a lot: truth and peace, or let's say true self. What's your definition of true self?
So the true self for me is our conscious awareness, our spirit. And it's our energetic essence of who we really are. So it's an energetic essence that's there before our mind, it's there before our emotions, it's there experiencing our body, but it isn't our body. It's sort of our never-ending, undying state.
Someone who is struggling to make ends meet, who doesn't have all the basic needs and necessities in life, it's a bit too much to understand this, because this is what I think. I could be wrong. We're all busy trying to, put food on the table, or pay those mortgages, or deal with cost of living. There's constant pressure going on every day for mothers, fathers, single mothers, kids, peer pressure, social media. It's a constant chaos. I understand what you're saying, but the world we have created is not giving peace, is not showing the truth.
But peace is not in the world that we created. Peace is within us. It's how we relate to the world that we created.
Yeah.
And while we do have a tendency to want to chase certain things, and not for necessarily bad motivation. So I want to work to provide. I want to have money so I can actually eat. So they're good motivations. It's, are we acting on those motivations based on our truth, or are we acting based on our conditioning?
Yeah.
So when I act as my true self, and this is what I had to learn myself, was my true self was, while it was aware, it didn't just sit there, and this is what I did at first. I just sat there just noticing. Yeah. I didn't know how to connect to my gut part of me, which was my intuition. How do I live as my true self, rather than how do I just be my true self?
Yeah.
And I think there was a quote, and I can't quite remember who said it, but there's being a stone Buddha, which is being just the awareness, or being a living Buddha, and how do I live that awareness?
Yeah.
So often what we can just do with our life is we can try to understand, am I under the influence of my mind or my ego?
Yeah.
Or am I under the influence of my true self here?
Yeah.
So even under the influence of your true self, you can still go to work, and I still go to work. I still cook for myself. I still do my chores. So they're not mutually exclusive.
Okay. And you mentioned that you were chasing that blissful state. When did you stop chasing?
When I suffered so much that I just got sick of it.
Okay.
And that's when I had another awakening from there. That I had an awakening of being one with all.
Okay.
Because chasing my true state it's a little bit ridiculous. It's like trying to chase my tail. It's already there. It's what I had it messed up. I was chasing something rather than trying to remember and reconnect back to who I was.
Yeah.
So once I realized that, I was like, oh, I'm this nothingness, but I'm everything at the same time.
Can you recall that moment of realization?
Yeah, that was during COVID.
Okay.
It was during COVID lockdown. So I was meditating, and I just contemplated. For some reason, I contemplated what it was like if to be blind.
Yeah.
And then when I did that, I just become one with everything then. And And it was like I was the nothingness, but I was the everything at the same time. I was just pure energy and pure awareness, but also engaging in all of life.
Okay.
And so once I realized that, so I sort of said, "Oh, I'm everything." And then the teacher, I had read his book.
Yeah.
When he woke up, he said he went to check if he was the toilet as well. So I quickly ran to the toilet and I said, "Oh, am I the toilet too?" And I was. I was like, "Wow, that's part of me too."
Yeah.
So we're all everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a high. For majority, it would be hard to understand what you just said.
I think it's crazy when I first heard it too. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so if I hadn't experienced it myself, I was one of those people.
Yeah. So basically, you stop chasing, and you're continuing helping others and all that stuff. What is that you are trying to achieve with these three paths given to you or chosen?
Yeah, I don't think I'm actually trying to achieve anything. So part of what I've learned was living as my true self means just living what feels true to me.
Okay.
And so these things that I'm doing, they just feel true. I live a lot on instinct, on intuition now. I use my mind and my emotions as tools to assist me, but I don't really let them govern my journey. Okay. So for me, it is just doing what feels true. And usually what feels true feels good to me. It feels nice to me. It feels natural and easy. So these things just feel like they're calling me. And that's usually what happens. And the more I've done this, even in other aspects of my life, I've just followed other things that I never thought I would do, that they just felt easy and that just felt intuitively what feels like a good step for me to do.
Yeah. And what's the difference with the truth versus comfort? Because also some of the things you just mentioned about truth also comes with comfort. I like to eat 10 burgers a day, watch TV, and do nothing. That's my truth.
Yeah, well, that's going to make you feel good for a little bit, but that won't necessarily continue to make you comfortable.
But I don't know that's coming because I'm obnoxious and I'm dumb.
Yeah, and really what that is, that's living through the mind and through the emotional body. So that makes me feel good, not necessarily feels intuitively right to me.
Okay.
And it could feel intuitively right. Who am I to say what someone's intuition is saying to them?
Yeah.
But overall, it's understanding the difference between what our mind is saying, what our feelings are saying, and what our intuition is saying. And that's really what the book is about. It's about understanding all those three levels.
Yeah. So basically, just going with one might not
generally won't.
Yeah. No, that's good to know, because I think when we use the word truth, we say your truth, my truth, and the truth. Based on some of the ancient wisdom I came across, the truth you're talking about is the truth. No one can change, no one can alter. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, and how that truth flows through us as people.
Yeah. Okay. What message you have for people, young people, who are confused with their feelings and thoughts?
So the first message I'd say is if you can, is start to actually understand what feelings you're actually having. Start to understand what your emotions are. Start labeling them better.
How? Can you give a cheat sheet?
So it might be like, I feel crap. That might be what people say.
Yeah.
But do I feel crap, or do I feel lonely? Do I feel disappointed?
Yeah.
Do I feel guilty? Do I feel isolated? Do I feel disliked?
Yeah.
So there's all different names of emotions, and the more you know each emotion, then you know your responses, your habitual responses to those emotions.
Okay. So journaling
would be a good start.
Would be a good start.
Yeah.
Why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling.
More what am I feeling first? So our emotions, feeling bad or unpleasant, is usually telling us we're most likely disconnected from our true self.
Right.
So we're not thinking in a way that's aligned to our true self. So emotions are like an alarm system.
Yeah.
So the more we understand what the alarm is, then we can say what's triggering the alarm, which is our beliefs.
Yeah.
And then when we can change them to more align with our true self, then we create a more aligned path of our truth.
Right. And with your own life experience, have you gone through any of those dark moments where it took a while to get out?
Yeah, lots of them. So pretty much I wrote the book because I suffered with all those emotions. Each emotion I wrote about, I had to live through it and understand myself through those emotions.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about just me saying, oh, this is how you cope with emotions.
Yeah.
I actually had felt them myself and noticed all the ways I tried to control them. And then finally the ways I let go of control and was able to just be at peace with them.
Is that something which impacted your kind of well-being and
Completely.
Completely?
Yeah,
Okay.
completely. Yeah. So I kind of felt really, for long periods, I felt really low, really down, really angry. And it would just come and go without me trying. Sometimes I'd just feel good all of a sudden, then I'd feel crap for a fair while. Then that was about, all right, let's understand what's going on here.
Yeah.
And that let's understand what's going on here was finally when I decided to do that. Otherwise I was like annoyed that I was feeling bad. So like I said, I spent a lot of time cranky and angry about how I was feeling and not being awakened again. And that's when my friend said, well, why do you hate living? And that's really when I started understanding that.
So that's the moment where you call like your deepest, darkest moment?
Yes, I think I've never heard this prior to sort of last year or so. People call it the dark night of the soul.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. So it's understanding the deep darkness and shadowy parts of ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the moment you recognize that, that's when you start working and understand. And
generally, but it wasn't such a straight line. Like, I did it begrudgingly at first, then I hated it, then I was on board with it, then I was begrudgingly again.
Yeah.
So it didn't just go one smooth sailing ship.
Yeah. And just I'm curious about this. There's almost 60% of relationship fail in this day and age in the Western society. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think personally, I don't think a failed relationship is necessarily a bad thing. I think a lot of times relationships fail because people get to know themselves on deeper levels.
Okay.
And they get to know their truth a little bit more by sometimes being disconnected from our truth. When we grow up, we have our conditioning. A lot of times we do let that control us. So we get into relationships based on that. And the more we get to know ourselves, the more our truth emerges. And sometimes that just doesn't match the person we were because we're always changing, always evolving. So our true self isn't just a constant state. It's a state of evolution as well. So I think it can be a beneficial thing. I think, though, the more people can communicate and get to know themselves earlier on, the easier it will be to form more meaningful relationships that do last. But relationships are really good opportunities to get to know yourself and get to know your triggers.
How come 50 years ago the breakup rate was down? Thank you for listening, Chat with Loki. Follow and subscribe for more wisdom from everyday heroes.